Hi, I'm Georgiana, and I'm back with a new episode of the Speak English Now podcast. The podcast that helps you speak English fluently, with no grammar and no textbooks. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something very real, but often hidden. Why speaking English feels stressful. And how can you feel calmer, more focused, and more confident when you speak? Before we start, you can get the transcript at speakenglishpodcast.com/podcast. And if you enjoy this episode, please share it with your friends. Thank you. Why speaking can feel so hard? Maybe you've had this experience. You're in a room with people who speak English. You want to say something. You know the words. You have an idea. But your body says, no. Your heart starts beating fast. You feel heat in your face. Your hands get cold. Your thoughts go blank. And suddenly, you say nothing. Later you think, I knew what I wanted to say. Why didn't I speak? The answer isn't just vocabulary or grammar. It's anxiety. It's what happens inside your body when you feel pressure, fear, or self-doubt. Anxiety is not a language problem. It's a state problem. When you feel anxious, your body enters a stress state. Jefferson Fisher calls this your emotional state, which is the energy and emotion you bring into every conversation. If your state is tense, your words feel stuck. If your state is relaxed, your words flow. So speaking well isn't just about English. It's about the state you're in before you speak. This is why sometimes you speak fluently when you're alone, but freeze in front of others. The problem isn't your English. The problem is the pressure you feel inside. What anxiety feels like when speaking English? You feel tense and alert, like you're being tested. You want to speak, but your brain feels slow. You worry. What if I make a mistake? You apologize for your accent, your words, your grammar, even before you begin. This makes English feel scary. But English is not a threat. English is a tool. It's a bridge. So, what can you do when the anxiety feels bigger than your English? Let me give you some tools that can really help. Number 1. Reset your state before you speak. Before you speak, pause. Take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders. Tell yourself, I'm safe. I can speak slowly. I don't have to be perfect. This small pause helps your brain shift from panic to calm. Number 2. Be aware of what your body is doing. Are your hands tight? Is your breath short and fast? Notice it, then slow it down. A calm body equals clear words. Number 3. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for connection. Real conversation is not a test. You're not being graded. You don't need perfect grammar or perfect pronunciation. You just need to connect. Here's my final thought. You are not your accent. You are not your mistakes. You are not your anxiety. You're someone with thoughts to share, questions to ask, and a deep need to connect. That's powerful, and it deserves respect. Remember to take a breath, speak slowly, and connect. Now let's practice with a point of view story. I will tell you the same story, but in different points of view. This will help you practice grammar in a natural way. If you want to practice more, get my premium courses. Visit speakenglishpodcast.com/courses. Let's listen to the story in the past tense. Leo lived in Lisbon and had been studying English for a few years. He could read well and understand most conversations. But when it came to speaking, especially with strangers, he felt tense and unsure. Every time he tried to talk, he felt pressure in his chest. His voice would tremble, and sometimes his hands would shake. Before speaking, Leo often apologized. He would say things like, "Sorry, my English isn't very good," or "Sorry if I make mistakes." One day, Leo joined a walking tour in his city. There were tourists from many countries, and the guide invited people to share their thoughts. Leo wanted to say something. He had an idea, but he froze. His heart raced. His mouth went dry, and he stayed silent. Later that day, Leo felt frustrated. He thought, "I knew the words. I had something to say. Why couldn't I speak?" That night, Leo watched a video about communication. The speaker said, "Your emotional state controls your words. If you want to speak clearly, you must calm your body first." Leo paused the video and thought about it. He repeated the message out loud. He realized before he could speak well, he needed to calm down. Not just his words, but his breath, his body, and his thoughts. The next day, Leo met a tourist at a cafe. He felt the same nervous energy, but this time he paused. He took a slow breath. He relaxed his shoulders. He smiled. Then he said, "Hi, welcome to Lisbon." His words came out clearly. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't afraid. The tourists smiled and replied, "Thanks, I'm excited to explore." They talked for a few minutes. Leo felt proud. For the first time, he didn't focus on grammar or fear. He focused on connection, and that changed everything. Great! Let's listen to Leo's story one more time in the first person, present tense. Hi, I'm Leo. I live in Lisbon, and I've been learning English for a few years. I understand a lot. I can read and listen easily. But when I try to speak, especially with new people, I feel something heavy. My chest gets tight. My voice feels small. Sometimes my hands even shake. Before I speak, I often say, "Sorry, my English is bad," or "Sorry if this sounds strange." It's like I want to disappear before I even begin. One day, I join a walking tour. There are people from everywhere. The guide asks a question. I want to answer, but I freeze. My heart beats fast. I can't think. I say nothing. After the tour, I feel disappointed. I had ideas. I had the words. But I let fear control me. That night, I watch a video about how to speak more confidently. The speaker says, if you're not calm, your message gets blocked. First, calm the body, then speak. That makes sense to me. The next day, I go to a cafe. A tourist asks me, "Do you speak English?" I feel the same nervous energy, but this time I breathe. I relax my shoulders. I smile. I say, "Yes, I do. Welcome to Lisbon." He smiles back. We talk for a few minutes. It's not perfect, but I don't care. I'm calm. I'm connected. I feel proud. I feel free. Great work! You just practiced the same story in 2 different ways. First in the past tense, then in the first person. This helps you internalize the vocabulary, the grammar, and most importantly, the feeling. Remember what Leo learned. You don't need perfect English. You need a calm state. You don't need to impress. You just need to connect. You don't need to rush. Breathe. Be present. Then speak. Great! If you want to practice more, get my premium courses. Visit speakenglishpodcast.com/courses. I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com.